Hi, today we're going to talk about how to build an audience from zero. By audience, I mean your email list, your followers on social media, or subscribers to your podcast or YouTube channel. And here's the thing, everyone starts from zero. Everybody, no matter how big they are now, they had a first subscriber to their email list or a first follower on Instagram. So no matter where you are now, we've all been at zero. And it's a good thing if you're right now looking for information about how to grow from zero, because it's going to be easier for you to grow in an intentional way than it will be to just kind of haphazardly try to grow your email list and your Instagram following and then have to try to retrain the algorithms. So it's a good thing to be really intentional from the beginning, from follower number one, in how you're growing. And one really important thing about growing your audience is that there is no one method that works for everyone. I think often on the internet we see like TikTok is the thing to do or LinkedIn is the thing to do. And it's not, because everyone has a different audience or is teaching different content. So the way that you grow and which platforms you use is going to depend on where your audience is and what you're teaching them. So I'm not going to tell you what platforms to use. I will show you how to do the right research and make those decisions for yourself so that you're making the right decisions for you and your content. So when I say audience, what I mean is your three things: your email list, your social media following, and subscribers to your content platform. So blog, podcast, or YouTube channel. And there's going to be overlap between those groups, but just generally, to kind of simplify things, that's what we're looking at are your numbers on those three different places. So those are the three kind of pools of people that we want to pull from to grow your audience. And we have a different way of growing each of those pools, but we'll get into that in a minute. But it's all going to begin with being visible online and creating free content. There's really just no way around this. You have to become known and you have to get in front of the right people who then will learn something new or achieve a breakthrough because of you. And that's what's going to get them to know, like, and trust you enough to then invest time and money with you. But being visible and creating content, that's how you establish yourself as an expert in your niche. One side note, when I say visible, a lot of people don't like being on camera, which is totally fine. You can do a podcast, that can be your way of connecting with people, write a blog, whatever. Like visible, I don't mean literally visible, like audible, just some way of becoming known. And it has to come from the business owner, the person who's teaching this content. It's not something that can be outsourced, because they have to know you as a person enough to trust you, and then again, invest time and energy with you. So as far as being visible and growing your audience, because you have these three different pools of people of your audience that you're trying to grow, you're going to be growing them in three different ways. You'll need a list building funnel, an evergreen content platform, and one or more visibility platforms. And those three different resources work together in a very strategic way to grow your audience. I call it the Traffic Trifecta. And next, I'm going to talk about what exactly each of those three things does. Number one is your list building funnel. This is how we grow your email list. It begins with a lead magnet or freebie, which is a free, irresistible offer that you give to someone in exchange for their name and email address, thus getting them on your email list. For most people, it's going to be their first real introduction to who you are and your teaching style. So you really want to make a really good freebie, invest the time and do the right research so that you can create a really good freebie that solves a problem for your target audience or helps them, get one step closer to achieving their ultimate goal. All that is your list building funnel, which grows your email list. That's one of your audience pools. Next is going to be your evergreen content marketing. I'm going to explain what that means. Content marketing is when you teach your audience something about your content area. And it can be written, video, audio, it doesn't really matter the format. It's just something that you're teaching for free to your target audience. What makes it evergreen is when it lives on a permanent platform. So this could be blog, podcast, or a YouTube channel. So that means that the original content that you've created will be permanent and searchable. It lives there forever. This YouTube video that I'm recording right now will theoretically be available in like 5 years if somebody's searching on YouTube. This is in contrast to your social media platforms, which just by nature are impermanent. If you post something today, in a couple days, it'll have fallen off of people's feeds, and you won't be able to capture new leads from that content anymore. So social media or your feed platforms do serve a purpose. That's what we'll get into when we talk about step 3, your visibility platform or platforms. Your visibility platform is the way that you remain top of mind with your existing audience and get yourself in front of new people. And there are a few different things that kind of qualify as your visibility platforms. One, like I mentioned, social media. It's a great way of becoming known by new people, just staying engaged and active with your existing audience. Number 2 is other people's audiences. So you can capitalize on the audience building that other people have already done by guesting on people's podcasts or writing blog posts or going live on with somebody else on their Facebook channel. These are all great ways of getting in front of somebody else's audience. You don't want it to be a direct competitor, but somebody who would have a similar audience as you. Another option for your visibility platform is to find a place where your target audience hangs out online, where they're pretty active, and get into those groups or those YouTube channels where they are, read through their posts and comments, and contribute, answer questions, add value. We're not being spammy here. We're just authentically showing up and answering questions, adding value, establishing yourself as an expert in your niche. So as far as your visibility platforms, you can do all 3. You can be active in a Facebook group and guest on people's podcasts and post to social media. It can be a lot. So you want to figure out which of those are going to be the most fruitful and really focus your efforts on 1 or 2 of your visibility platforms. So just to recap, as far as growing your audience, you're going to create a list building funnel, you're going to do some evergreen content marketing, and you're going to spend some time on your visibility platforms. It can be hard to know where to begin with all this, how to create the right content for your audience. And here's my biggest tip, my biggest piece of advice is to do the research. You, by doing the right research in the right order, can figure out what is it that your target audience wants to learn or what's something they struggle with, and then you create a freebie from that. You create your lead magnet that answers a specific question that they're asking or helps them achieve a win that they are looking for. As far as your evergreen content marketing, again, do the research. The research will show you where they already are online. Different people or different types of content are just naturally going to be better for a blog or a podcast. So find out where they already are and go to them. And then as far as your visibility platforms, you can do the research. Find out who your peers are so that you can pitch yourself to be a guest on their podcast. Find out where your target audience is already spending their time online, the Facebook groups they're in. Get into those existing groups so that you can establish your expertise there. Or find out where your target audience, what social media platforms they're more likely to be on. You can figure all this out from doing the research. It's going to be different groups of people on TikTok versus LinkedIn, or at least maybe it's the same people, but they're looking for different content on those 2 different platforms. But doing this research is what is going to enable you to make the right decisions as far as choosing those platforms. When I first got started in online business, I had this idea that I should do some research, but I had no idea how to do it or what to do, where to begin. and I wasn't able to find the answer online. So I have a brand new free video training. It's called the Research Advantage. There's a link below this video and you can sign up there. You will learn the exact tools I use, the exact methods I use to answer all these questions so that you are creating the right content and getting it in front of the right people. So please, it's only like a 43-minute long video and it will help you to answer all these questions. So you're not just spinning your wheels, you are spinning your wheels in a really effective way. So sign up for that, please. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.